Does your agency have a disease control and prevention quarantine area for dangerous viruses? Has your agency done any training lately or updates on infection control in jails and prisons? The reason I ask these questions is it's never too late to do this, and now is as good a time as any to start doing it and paying more attention to it, especially with what is going on in current affairs with the coronavirus. Now, this isn't a big scare. We don't know of any jail or prison cases yet, and hopefully we don't hear of any jail or prison cases with the coronavirus. But what difference does that make? This should give us the incentive to go forward and make sure our policies and procedures are in place for infection control, make sure we're ready if something does happen where we have to quarantine staff, prison staff, inmates, anybody. I mean, we work in a dangerous environment. We're correctional officers strong for many reasons, not just because we stand between the criminals and society and protect society, but because we have to face a lot of obstacles. So today, I would like to talk about the obstacles we face, such as bloodborne pathogens, HIV, viral hepatitis, tuberculosis, staph MRSA, parasite infestation, influenza, and of course the one I just mentioned at the beginning of the video, the coronavirus, which we have not seen yet, and I hope we don't. But the reason I brought this up today is I'm down here in Central Florida, and the Super Bowl is in Miami tomorrow. So what has that got to do with prisons and jails and the coronavirus? Well, I was thinking about the Miami-Dade County Jail and what they're going to be dealing with at the Super Bowl. And it's not just tomorrow. It started all last week, all through this weekend. There will be thousands, hundreds of thousands of people there, and many of them will be arrested because, as we know, the Super Bowl brings with it some very bad characters. Human traffickers, prostitutions, drug dealers, and it brings a lot of innocent people as well. The Miami International Airport is expected to bring in 150,000 travelers coming into the area either to attend the Super Bowl or just to be there for the Miami festivities surrounding the Super Bowl. And Miami Airport now has always had a quarantine area. They've always had a disease control and prevention quarantine station. So they didn't have to just all of a sudden make one, because Miami is a huge hub with a lot of people coming from around the world. So they've already had this in place. Now they're just expanding on it and prepared for this week. They've been prepared for it for the last 2 weeks, people coming in for the Super Bowl. And let's hope that those passengers who all arrive when they're screened, all are fine and there's no issue. But we also have a lot of people coming in by ship and by land, by vehicles. Now, if any of these people break bad and commit a crime or have a fight and they get arrested by the Miami-Dade police or the county sheriff or any of the agencies down there in Miami, they'll be booked into the county jail. So I was thinking about those folks down there, and let's give them prayers and thoughts during Super Bowl. They are going to have a heavy, heavy-duty week. Let's hope that nothing with the coronavirus is involved for those folks down there at the Miami-Dade County Jail this weekend, or any of our prisons and jails. But with that said, I wanted to get that out there because that is what brought this whole topic to my mind. We always have to stay on top of this. It's not just because of the coronavirus. We have all the things I mentioned before occurring constantly. So when's the last time, I'm just asking everybody to stop and think, when was the last time your agency trained you on what to do with infection control? Now, I know there's lots of times we don't know what the inmates have. HIPAA, I know there's a HIPAA law, but we have medical staff and we have management, and when medical staff knows there is a viral hepatitis going around or a tuberculosis going around, we need to take action to protect not only all the other inmates, but all the prison staff, all the officers in uniform, that we have to protect them. You know, this is just another area of why our job is so tough and why we don't get paid enough. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in here. I'm talking about controlling infectious diseases, I know, but now the pay is, we've got to get on the ball. We have hazardous duty. And we could do several videos on several different hazards we face in corrections. I'm just doing one today on infection control in jails and prisons. Now, you folks out there, if your agency is not training on infection control, if they're not having everybody stay up to par with the policies and procedures on infection control, if your management is not planning ahead for things like the coronavirus, please tell them, get on the ball, let's get some training going right now. Because if the coronavirus goes away today and we never hear of it again, we still have a whole long list. I didn't name all of them. I think I only named 7 or 8 of the viruses we have to deal with in prisons and jails. So it's our duty to everyone behind the razor wire to keep them protected from these infectious diseases. And it's just, you never get enough training on this. You know, it's just like with the fentanyl issue. We had another issue. I think it was 11 officers exposed just recently. That's another one that can fall in this category in a way. It's not a disease, but it's a drug, and it's infecting the officers when it's smuggled into the jails and prisons. So as you can see, we could do a lot of separate videos on all these issues, and I'll probably be doing a few here in the future and putting them up on my YouTube for those of you who are interested in protecting yourself, protecting your fellow officers and everyone behind the razor wire. Why do you want to do that? Because we want you to go home to your family without any diseases. We want you to go home to your friends and family without something that you're going to transfer to them. We want you to have a long and prosperous career or job, whichever you call it in corrections. Some people say it's a job, some say it's a career, some say it's a profession, whatever you want to call it. We want you to succeed at it and retire, get a pension, and go do some things that's on your bucket list, okay? That's why it's so important. So when you hear somebody next to you go, who gives a darn? Who cares? They don't care about us. Why should I care? You should care. And if you say they don't care about you, go to them, whoever they is, and say, hey, we need more protective gear. We need more gloves, more latex gloves. We need more masks. We need more gear to wear when we go in and do a cell extraction to protect ourselves from spit, blood-borne pathogens, saliva, feces thrown at us, urine thrown at us. You know, it all happens, and if you've ever been on a cell extraction, you've been exposed to 1, 2, or all of those things I just mentioned. We must have the good gear and the high-quality protective gear. We cannot cut our officers short in that area. So that is why we need to do this. So if you have someone that says, I don't care, look them in the eye and explain to them why they should care. They should care because if they don't care and they don't wear the gear and they don't know what to do in these situations, they could get a virus or an illness and pass it on to you. Just tell them, you better care, because we all need to be working together to prevent disease from spreading over into the staff members or correctional officers and the inmates who don't have whatever disease is moving around your jail or prison now. Okay, I think you get the point. Keep your thoughts and prayers for the Miami-Dade County Jail, who will be booking in people from the Super Bowl, probably starting last night, Friday night, tonight, and especially tomorrow. And pray for all the officers on the road, on the street, that they catch all these human traffickers, all these drug dealers, all these filthy prostitutes, and please pray that they come home safe at night after all this is over. And with all that said, have a good weekend. Take care. And please help each other, protect each other. True Prison Stories, Gary York.